All right, all right. Hope everybody's having an amazing day. We are getting all systems warmed up for one more time. Let's go. It is another beautiful Friday in Paradiso. Hope everybody's having an amazing one. Let's see if we are actually live.
Yeah, looks like we are, sir.
All right, love it. It's Friday. Got the Hawaiian shirt on, and we are cooking. How are you feeling today, retired watch guy Jay?
Can't complain too much, It's another day in paradise.
Another day in paradise. We're at 299 subscribers. We need to get one more today
I'm gonna beat you. I'm
to make
coming. I'm at
300.
255, bro.
Hey, just
So,
wait. I got some
guys,
things
if you want
cooking.
to help CQ beat me, make sure you're sharing this stream with all your friends because I'm heavy on his heels with 255 subscribers. I actually just got a subscriber just now as we went live. So, help CQ stay on top of retired guy.
You're
Share the
gaming the
streams.
system. You're gaming the system.
They don't even. I'm not even telling them to follow me on my page. I'm saying share CQ's page so that he doesn't get thwarted by an anime short guy. Like that's all. That's all.
Listen, I'm happy for every single one of my
Of
subscribers.
course, of course. And to be honest with you, I think you have very good subscribers. Like my guys, they don't show up for me in the way that yours do. And I do say that I am a little bit jealous of the community that you built. I aspire to build a similar community.
It's all about the community at the end of the day.
This is true. This is very
Let's
true, sir. Very, very true.
watch here. All right, so now everybody on Instagram knows what is going on. Hope everybody's having an amazing day. This is your favorite daily Watch Talk Live show, Watch Talk Live. I'm CQ, the Watch Guy, with the co-host with the most retired
Rich
Watch
buddy.
Guy, Jay. What's going
Yes.
on, Rich Buddy? First in the chat and first in our hearts. Am I a little bright? I feel like I'm bright. That's good. How you doing today, Jay?
I'm doing all right, man. It's Friday. The one sad thing is you're going to Switzerland, so we don't get to watch some football together this weekend. But hey, you're going to be shaking and moving out there with the Swiss, making some connections, probably bringing some great content to the team. So, the things we do for the love of the game, right?
Exactly. I'm gonna find some fondue and good watches, man. That's the goal of the game. All right, let's get the party started. If you need truly independent watch advice, make sure you check out cqthewatchguy.com where you can see all of my services. And today's a little bit of a freestyle Friday, so whatever you folks would like to talk about, we can talk about. I was just gonna start the day off with Ed Sheeran and his
Well,
seemingly bespoke.
Vimal actually has an intro song. He said 369, damn Paddock fine. I'm hopping. You can sock it to me one more time and roll, get low. I
Hey,
messed up the
I
cadence a
like
little
it.
bit, but
You did it.
I saw the vision, Vimal.
Three
I'm
six
sorry.
nine. Oh, no, oh, I love that. I love that. We need to make a AI AI rapping Vimal to make that.
Okay, Ed Sheridan and a pink IWC. Is this IWC?
It is
Is
a
if it's not
pink
IWC. Okay.
IWC Big Pilot perpetual counter,
Ceramic white.
white ceramic. There we go. There's a good picture of it. So this is in collaboration, not
He's never
collaboration,
gonna
but he
beat these allegations.
no,
Sorry, go ahead.
he did this for in commemorance of his newest album that's about to drop called Play, and I believe he had another watch made, but this one,
I'm just glad it wasn't like in commemoration of like his mom or something, and I said something so terrible. But with that being said, I'm sticking by it. This is go ahead, continue what you're talking about.
Yiddish guy, the ghost of Yiddish Gambino says that's a great color watch. Does it come in a men's?
Look, it's breast cancer awareness month, isn't it? Or is that next month? Stop.
It has to be. I think it's next
I
month,
just,
right?
yeah, or else the
For
NFL
the
would have had
football,
everybody in
yeah.
pink cleats and shit.
And this is a dope Hawaiian
Ramal
shirt.
said the watch is late by 2 years. Oh no, everything about these photos is dope except for the watch. Unfortunately. Oh, that's June? No, that's. I'm.
Yeah,
Yiddish, Yiddish. Don't get me in trouble.
no, we're mixing things up because the football does something too, but I think it's different than
No,
the actual.
he's saying June is a month for a specific group of people, whereas we're talking about breast cancer awareness, which is
Oh,
the
see, yeah,
pink one.
you guys don't got me caught up.
Exactly. Yiddish is talking more so rainbow colors. Good afternoon, Diraj.
What's happening, Duraj? Good
It's
afternoon.
not the worst watch, but like it's just what it's a big pilot that has a pink dial, and it's like I don't think that real men wear pink. Cameron and the Diplomats proved that in 2000, early
Oh yeah,
2000s.
Cameron would rock this all day.
Oh yeah, but like this should. I'm hoping it's limited. I'm hoping it's limited to like 100 pieces because finding 100 men that want this watch that aren't Ed Sheridan fans, you know what I'm saying? Like they're just like it's super niche. No pun intended.
So, Ghost of Yiddish says, "Wow, go back to the flower shirt," and it looks like he went to a tattoo parlor and said, "Hey, just continue my shirt." Those guys.
Yo, hey, can you make this shirt but in tattoo? Like,
It's a dope. It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
you notice how we haven't said anything positive about the watch yet? It's just been about.
I mean, listen. I love Big Pilot perpetual calendars. I think these are cool watches, but it's a pink dial. So like, if you're not Ed Sheeran, if you're not Cameron, if you're not somebody who's an entertainer, I find it would be very, or unless you're somebody who's doing it in awareness, I think this would be a hard watch to pull off more than a few times a year. But
Afternoon 10.
what's happening, Tim?
Ron Weasley did grow up, but if he grew up and saw this watch, he would definitely change the color of the dial. Um, you know what's funny is that I'd like to see some live images. Do you have any photos of the watch by itself and not in the wild?
No, so this is like a quiet release, right? This is because these pictures are all like he's doing kind of promo for the album and stuff. So they just kind of stole these pictures and
It's a
they.
great picture of him wearing a G-Shock in the fucking studio that really hammers home the point of how much he loves this IWC. Like, am I correct in saying that in the studio he's wearing a G-Shock? Why is that even in?
Well, so cause this is the shot when he did his G-Shock collaboration with this watch, this yellow watch here. So then you have Ben Clymer and I always want to say George Mayer, but John Mayer, and they're just having a conversation. This was a article a few years back, if not 4 years by now.
Well, a quiet release of the world's loudest watch. Very well said, Yiddish Gambino.
Yeah,
DQ, can you
yeah.
pull up grannies for Kamala off the cruise ships with this IWC?
Nah,
Hey, hey,
hey, them grannies want big rocks, bro. Them grannies know, bro. Them grannies know what, and they want big gold and big.
Rich Buddy, the theme is him dropping D Play, his next album. Um, I just I just feel like it's not a good watch. Just the combinations of the good afternoon Goldfinger, the combinations of size,
Good
dial
afternoon,
color,
sir.
all of those things just aren't gonna mesh well in my opinion. And it's a complication watch too. It's not even like a simple chronograph. Like what is it? You tell me, Scoop. Like what am I missing? Why am I being so negative? Oh, wait, it's me, retired guy. But what do you think?
You gotta love pink. I think they've done so many cool dials, and like I love this perpetual, but like this is again, even if I had this, I think I'd struggle to wear this more than a few times a year,
What if
even if
it,
I'm on the beach all day.
what if it was black ceramic? I feel like black ceramic, it would have been a little bit softer on our eyes, but white makes it so loud. You know what I'm saying? Because black would have been all right, black and pink, but white and pink just is so like in your face. Chat, tell me, am I wrong? Maybe just pink shouldn't have been done at all, but maybe a black and pink or even steel. But white is just such a interesting backdrop for the watch with a dial that's pink. Rich Buddy said it should have been stainless steel with a Hulk sunburst dial. Interesting.
Yeah, he's right. He actually sent me a really good chrono. I'm trying to pull up because I don't want to accidentally put his info out there.
Vimal also makes a great point of 0.001% of Ed Sheridan fans can afford an IWC Big Pilot. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there are some people who have the money to make it happen, but those Ed Sheridan fans aren't thinking IWC, in my opinion.
So yeah, shot me a shot of his IWC oh my gosh, IWC Palace Chronograph Perpetual Calendar, the Petite Prince edition on the wrist, but this is a different shot of it, and he says this is what you call a perpetual calendar, and I have to agree. This is
Yeah,
a great watch.
very nice piece. Won't ever have any issues there.
Um, I I don't even want to give it a Vimal rating because it's not a full release. If they full release it with pricing, we'll give it
Nah, no,
a
wait, hold up, hold up.
we'll
We
give it
gave
a
the mall ratings to the Bergeron watch that doesn't fucking work.
all right,
So
fine.
we're giving them fucking this one at least works, bro. It's a 40, 35, 40 the mall for me.
I just wish it wasn't so pink. I wish it gave me a little bit more
Dan says it well.
contrast.
White watch is a very good choice for the summer, but the pink dial is ugly. And the worst part is we don't have live images to actually look at the watch because I do think live images would make us feel a little bit more calm. There looks to be some blue on the dial. Like I feel like the blue might calm the dial down a bit. Vimal gave it 55, which is a lot
Yeah, I
higher
was
than I thought he would give.
surprised. I was surprised
I'm
at
sticking to my
55.
35, 40.
I'll give it 45 because I really do love
You
the
always pad your stats on my stats, dude. You
that
always do that.
yeah, you know that. Well, because I like a big pile. The big pile of perpetual counter is one of my favorite watches. So no matter what, it's already at 30 Vimals for that. Just because the family is one of my favorite families. I'm giving it 15 Vimals because it's a really unique color. You're not gonna see it. The reason why we can't go past that is just I just don't think you wear this more than 3 times a year. I don't think Ed Sheeran wears this more than 3 times a year.
I think this is the last time he wore the watch.
Yeah, exactly. You got the pictures? All right, cool. All right, so let's keep it moving. Not much in watch news today, and this is a freestyle show, guys. So you guys let me know what you want to talk about. But the Barons, in collaboration with Vianney Halter watch, you got some more pictures of a very unreadable watch, and I thought I would see if we could convince retired guy Jay to pull the trigger on one.
I mean, the thing with this watch is just like it's just it almost feels like it looks overly complicated, but isn't even that complicated. But you're gonna tell me that the movement, because it's kind of like a because it's rotating those two things, right? The hours on the one side and the minutes on the other, and that's like it's giving
Exactly.
Devon Thread-ish vibes, man. I think we talked about that before. Like I know the movement isn't, but the way it's telling time, it's just
Ghost of Yiddish Gambino asks, here's the question. Will Ed Sheeran wear the pink big pilot more than AP will make John Mayer wear the code 1159 turquoise? But so I don't know if you realize, but John Mayer has been like a AP supporter and collaborator for a little while now, right? And I think now he has an even more official position, but he's only worn Royal Oaks. And finally, he just did an interview, and somebody alerted OC, and we talking about it on his stream that he finally wore a Cody 1159 turquoise tourbillon. By the way, we did a stream talking about Ilaria Ressa maybe leaving. AP actually reached out to OC to add some clarity and give a statement, their official statement on that, which I thought was very, very interesting. If you might put a link here, uh, it's Ed Sheeran more pink watches. Maybe that's his color.
Yiddish, sorry, said the dude has been asked about the code before, and he always said it's a cool watch, but it's not for me. Maybe he's changed his tune. Turquoise to do that to people.
Nah, I think they finally cut him a check, or they were like, "Please, John, we need your help." I think a lot of those people who are AP ambassadors, they're like, it's not a true sponsorship, and like the dollars ain't making a sense. So it's like, hey, we'll give you watches, we'll get you special things, make a few appearances for us, but when it comes down to like, hey, I need you to push the code 1159, you gotta cut a check. You gotta cut a Serena Williams type check, and I don't think a lot of these brands want to do it. I don't even know what to say with this photo, Vimal. There's just
It's an Omega Swatch off rip. So it's like, like,
yeah, yeah.
is there a photo of him wearing it, or is it just? You can't really see it in this photo.
No, it's just one of these GQ articles where it's just like, here's one photo and a bunch of words. Yeah. All right. Um, Vimal had a question there, right? Vimal.
He was asking about, did you get any color on paddock price hikes from your AD friends?
So no color from them. Listen, I'm honestly not even trying to call the 80 my 80 friends and ask them about this. This is like a worst case scenario for them, to be honest with you. This is not a good situation. If you don't know and you're tuning in, price increases are inbound for many Swiss brands. Monday will be Patek Philippe by 15%, Chopard by 10%. Rumor is Swatch Group is going to do 5%. In this article here in Hodinky, Moser says they may do 10% if they have to. MBNF says they'll have to do 15%. And it seems like the bigger Richemont groups can hold out a little bit longer. But it's coming. It's coming. And I don't think there's anything that can happen between today and Monday that's going to change it. And I talked to another, how do I say this? I talked to somebody who works with brands, not a, it's not a brand on the level of Patek. It's a much smaller brand, but a brand that's been around, not like a micro brand or something like that. And they were very surprised that the brands are deciding to go ahead with the price increases right now. And what I asked them was like, will these prices ever come down? And she says no. And she says that's why they said that's why they didn't raise prices in their brand as yet, because they know that once they raise prices, they're not going to be able to bring prices down. You're not going to be able to justify. It kind of messes up the, the sauce and the calculations and things like that. So that's a real issue. Is you had if you're talking about Patek, you had a 10% increase in April. You have a 15% increase coming now, and what do you do? It's not going to come back. I don't think it's going to. At first, I was.
So I got a question for you. How did they justify? Because Yiddish is saying he spoke to somebody 20 plus years of Paddock sales agents yesterday and saw the price list and absolutely livid that the price increase as well as margin cuts to 31%. So it's like a price increase and a margin cut. So who does this all go to? Does this all go back to the brand? Like if the
Hey,
80s are losing
America,
margins?
America. So that's the thing is like there is some profit being made here, of course,
Good
but in
afternoon, Chat Vision.
reality, what's going on,
Watch
Chat
Addict.
Vision?
Sorry. Saw both of you guys. Good afternoon. Sorry.
What's happening, Watch Addict? But in reality, there's a 39% that needs to be collected, right? Even though it's on a wholesale value, and everybody's gonna pay. So the dealer's paying a little bit, which in dealer speak, you think it's a little bit, but man, when you're a dealer, right, and Patek is your bread and butter, Patek or Rolex, you have these two brands, one of these two brands, and they're your bread and butter. All your calculations are based off of how much of those pieces you can sell. So even having 1.2 points changed, it really, really does change your whole business,
I
your
just don't
projections,
understand
everything.
the 39%. Like, how, like, this fucking feels so unpatriotic. And I'm not trying to make this political or anything, but it's like, I don't see how this helps the American consumers. I don't see how it creates jobs, like, especially with the Swiss premium market, like there's no way for this to be done in America. Like, we had these conversations before. So it's like, it just feels so weird, man. It's just,
It's tough, and there are like small instances. Like I know certain watchmakers now who are looking for people in the U.S. watchmakers in the U.S. who can at least help assemble some of the product that they have. They already have the parts and everything, but they're like, oh man, if I could get it assembled in the U.S. So you're hearing little anecdotal things like that, but it wasn't about watches in the first sense. So
it was
watches are just a
pharmaceuticals, right? That
casualty,
was the whole thing. It was pharmaceuticals or whatever they were targeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Pharmaceuticals, there's steel, there's precious metal, there's a lot of different things that are going on there. So
Ramal said, I did the math. It's a waterfall. Paddock Corp is keeping its profit unchanged, but the dealers takes the next hit, followed by the consumer, who takes the biggest hit. And then he also said, Jay, it's not 39%. The wholesale price is 33% of retail. Gotcha.
Wait, no,
33%.
that's not right. The okay, well I guess yeah. So the retail price, the new wholesale price would be 31% off of retail, but the distributor cost is a different thing. Anyways, it becomes weird math. So anyways, the 5226G goes from a $44,870 watch to a $51,600 watch, and this is your entry level Patek, right?
Bro, well, you just said it. The fact that there will be no Calatrava that's sub 40K after this weekend is kind of insane.
It's wild. When let me see, I might be able to pull up a price list because I'll show you when I was selling. You could get a 5119 under 20,000. You could get a 5227 in the 20s. Like you could get a lot of different things for not really really crazy prices, and not
So my
everything's in the
question to you
40s.
is, people who buy Paddock are in a certain level of wealth at times, right? Do you think that a lot of these people are willing to bite the bullet, or do you think they seek out watches like Vacheron or something like that, who's willing to discount or some, not saying that Vacheron does, but like maybe there are brands who are not close to Paddock but comparable, and they start to pick up the slack where Paddock no longer is in that sub 40K range. Like, does this drive people to other brands now, or does Paddock still remain the creme de la creme because of the quality?
Can you guys see what's on my screen?
Mm.
I think that's a really really good question that I do not know the answer to. To be honest, I think what's going to happen is the top net worth people, they're not going to care too much. They're just going to deal with it.
Okay,
They're
yeah.
just going to go on. They're just going to go on with their life, and it'll be whatever. Then there's that middle tier of people who have a lot of money, but they're savvy, and they're like, man, maybe I go into the pre-owned market. I'm tired of this BS. There's really not that many watches I want that justifies me taking the traditional walk, the long walk of collecting Paddock. And then there's this ever-growing population that is just being priced out of the brand, where it's like they can afford it, but they just can't see themselves spending a couple hundred grand and not even putting a dent into getting into a Nautilus. Before you could say, hey, you spend 200, 250,000, getting on a Nautilus is, reasonable ask or something like that. Now it's like, you're just getting started, buddy. You really got to get up to the half a million mark. And it's just like, where do you start? Where do you go? Everything is just super duper, it's up there.
Watch Addict said, will the brand spread the tariff costs thin by raising prices in the rest of the world to offset U.S. prices? Seems like the most effective way to but that's also too much work for the brand.
So this is the thing. Um, a lot of people thought that would be the situation, and it could be, right? It still could be that it's a all across the board increase, so we don't know. But a lot of people, a lot of consumers are like, hey, we're not paying for what's going on over in the U.S. And a lot of brands don't want to. The issue is there is not enough markets where you could even leverage the arbitrage and make up for the American market. We are the elephant right now. Mainland China has gone to sleep a little bit when it comes to luxury goods. So US has been the pump in its bread. I was talking to the rep yesterday, and they were like, man, like it's so crazy because the US finally reached a great position in terms of the U.S. market is buying strongly. Collectors here are very educated. There's a lot of communities here that are really waking up and interacting with brands. So it's probably been the best time ever for Swiss watch. Not maybe ever, but really good time for Swiss watches and the U.S. market. And there's nothing you can do to make up for that. It's just
So I got a
impossible.
question for you. Why 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 won't this be the housing market bubble? And I say that because it's starting to feel like people are getting priced out of these watches, like Watch Addict is saying, just like people are getting priced out of buying houses. Like 20-year-olds these days are not going to be able to buy a house in America for under $250,000 in 5 to 10 years. So what makes this different? What makes these paddocks slowly become unobtainium for the future generations? You know, like when does the bubble pop? And I'm not saying that there's a bubble, but with these independent bands charging 80 plus for watches that don't work or weird fucking intricate shit that's not worth it, when does the bubble pop?
So I think for Paddock, they can withstand the bubble because they, there's so many very high net worth people who have been collecting Paddock for all their lives. Their parents, their grandparents. There's a family connection there. There's heritage. I think Paddock will be okay. I think a lot of people will whine and complain and be grumpy. By the end of the day, a lot of people will cough up the cash. I don't think many. I really can't think of another brand that I would tell my clients go ahead and pay the 15% extra or 10% extra without asking for a discount, without getting something special. And I think that's if you're a consumer or collector or enthusiast in the market right now, and you're not gonna buy today, you're gonna end up paying higher prices. You need to know your value, and you need to really understand what you're getting, why you're getting it. Are you buying this to buy other pieces in the future? Then it's fine. Do you just want this watch? Maybe you look secondary, right? Maybe you look. I think with Patek it's gonna be okay, but there are tons of other brands where they can't handle the pressure. And I think the independent market, it's a bubble. It's a bubble. That Bernard Arnault situation just showed me really much like other watches too, but that's the most recent example. But it's a bubble, man. Because again, none of those watches have a market. I'm sure if you look at the Phillips before we leave here, you're gonna see that piece even more than it was yesterday. It was already at 250,000. So it's really, really crazy time. So I just want to take a quick look. I have my old Patek price list. This is a 2014 Patek list. So this is 11 years ago. And so 11 years ago, I'm just trying to figure what's an entry. It would be a 5119. Would be your entry level Patek, right? So a 5119J, 20,800. The R was 23. The white gold was 23. So 20,000, 23,000, you get something. 5227s. Oh, they're already kind of pricey. 37, 35. And let's just look at a novice for fun. Where are you? $26,700 for a 5711A. Actually, no, the Aquanaut would have been the cheapest. Would have been the entry level at this moment. So a 51. Where are you? 23,400. So just a little bit more. Insane. I should have just bought them all. I'm insane. All right, Watch Addict says, is it true that number of Patek AD is 53 in the US and approximately 200 to 290 in the rest of the world? CQ, are you sure that 200 plus ROW AD points of sale can't compete with the 53 US ADs and points of sale? Yes. I think, again, Patek is okay, but a lot of watches get moved here. And you got to remember, every AD is not built the same, right? There are ADs that are going to do 50 units a year and be happy. Their ADs, in the Caribbean, our turnover was in the couple hundreds. I had more inventory than any other dealer I ever saw. So of course, again, I don't think Patek is going to be the worst here, but those markets won't be able to eat what the U.S. market, what New York Patek is doing, Miami Patek, all the big ADs, the Vempis, all these. Tiffany, New York, there's a lot of big spenders who buying a lot of pieces.
Wouldn't you say that allocations matter too? And it's like those 200 overseas doors probably didn't have uh, even half the allocations that some of the ADs in the US had, just based off of how many you're selling. Like you said, like an AD in New York probably had an allocation that covers 30 doors in some random place in China, right?
Exactly. So it's hard to equate because again, it might seem like a small store to you, but Paddock might say, hey, you're greenlit
I
to
mean, even
sell.
1916, we used to get a decent amount of allocations. Now, clearly,
Exactly.
like they were promised to specific people, and like there's a way
Yeah.
about going about it. Sorry, not how do I say this? Not promised, but like there's a way of going about obtaining certain watches, and it's like in certain markets, you're going to be allocated more because you've proven that you can sell more.
Exactly. So in 1916, right, the Paddock, the original Paddock dealer there, while we were there, because now it's a bunch of retailers, was Govbrook Jewelers. Govbrook Jewelers has been in Philadelphia for over 100 years, multi-generational business. So and has clientele that's multi-generational, high net worth client. So a place like that in that region, a store in Center City, a store also in the mainline in the suburbs, you would expect them to get a hefty quantity. And even them didn't have crazy, but you'd expect a store like that to do decent. But just doing a quick look, you might be like, oh man, they're not the biggest store in the world. Now, of course, it's different, but it's hard to know who gets what and how much. Because again, in the Caribbean, when I started working there, and I would go to other stores and I'd see like 15 Paddocks, I'd be like, "Where do you have it all in the safe?" And they'd be like, "Oh no, this is all." I was like, my back stock was like 50 pieces, you know. So the 6109 beautiful perpetual calendar goes from $123,609 to 142. It is rough. Let's go to the chat here. We got a lot of good things. You guys are the best. Do me a favor, upvote, upvote. I need one new subscriber to hit 300. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see. Tan says before tariffs, a lot of foreigners bought watches with tax refund in Paris. Yep, I think a lot of people will still be doing that. Travel tourism is up, or travel shopping is up. Ghost of Yiddish says we are officially in first world problem zone if we're complaining about paddock prices when people can't get housing for less than 50% of their paycheck. Agree. This is all champagne problems for sure. Vimal says, Jay, the difference paddocks makes 60,000 watches in the U.S. is 30% peak, so it's only 18,000 watches. You will find 18,000 rich folks in the U.S. Plenty, plenty, plenty. The only brand that can survive another 10 to 15 price increase is Rolex, says Yiddish. I agree. Yeah, Rolex can do it. Rolex can do it. All right, let's keep it moving. What else? What else do you guys want to chat about?
You just hit 301. Hannibal subscribed.
I know Hannibal. I knew Hannibal had my back. Thank you, Hannibal. Number 301. Watch I say I'd be more worried if an 80 was opposed to Paddock themselves. The 80s are under more pressure. They don't sell, they go out of business. Paddock, I hope, has cash or lowers productions to stay safe. So actually, watch Addict. This is a great point. A lot of the 80s are in that situation of, hey, we were just dealing with increased pricing. You're giving us another price increase. You know, again, some markets, no problem. Other markets, the clients are going to be like, I don't want to pay 15% more. And like with eating into the margin, the ability to discount, even if they would discount, has been affected. So I do think a lot of dealers are in a very uncomfortable position. Let's see what happens. I like these Barons, but I could not tell what time they are. I'm going to take these off the screen.
I was about to say, did they send you a check and you didn't tell me? Because you were pushing that shit.
I just want to watch. I'll take a watch from them. Here's another brand that I like, Siga Design, the Moonwalker watch. So I like the Earth Globe watch they made. These are Chinese-made watches you get from Amazon, but GPHG winners, by the way. And this one, we have a beautiful moon with, let's call him Buzz Aldrin right there floating around. And I think for the price point, they just make some really, really interesting watches that have good details. Oh, I gotta show you a watch that Yiddish sent me last night that I think I want to buy.
How much do these watches usually go for? Like, is it like under 1,000 or is it like 1,500? You said they were available on
It should be
Amazon.
under. I think the first one was like 800, and then it went up to like 1,200 or so.
Is this a
But you could
domed crystal or?
a little bit of a dome crystal. Give me a price. Give me a price. So this one is 1,000, 1,700 bucks. But sometimes they do like discounts on Amazon and
GPHG.
stuff like that. Yeah, United Gym. It pays.
Ooh, the company to get on GPHG? Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Oh, you said it, not me. What is that watch?
Oh, it is domed. I'm not a real big fan of dome, but it is a cool watch, and I do like that it's like an astronaut that's pointing at different things. What's that venti? Is that the burning on? Burn on?
No, no. Aventi is a. I'll, I'll, I'll
No, the
pull it for
burner
you.
on is the shit coin, brother. The burner on is fart coin, or it's Dogecoin. No,
I,
Dogecoin is legit. It's it's the yeah, it's Trump coin. That's what it fucking is.
oh, they're gonna shoot me when I go to.
Bundle Ruski, baby. We did it for Baron. The
Hey, I mean,
astronaut is the one that reminds me of the meme with the astronaut pointing the gun at the other one. You mean it was always a meme coin. All of these independent things. You're so right. That is definitely a meme. That's fucking watch.
all right, I'm gonna pull that up in the background.
Oh goodness. O'Leary? Oh,
So let me show you the Venti, cause I'm sure there's a
yeah.
bunch in Chrono. It's like the all sapphire watch.
A glorified AliExpress watch. I think so, Yiddish. But it won a GHPG or whatever CQ. GPH.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I'm not saying that it's the best watch in sliced bread. So these are Aventis. So sapphire case watch. Have no idea what they're doing for the movements. And for the price, like for the original price point, I think you could get us into it like a sapphire turb for under 10,000 if I was right. So if I'm right, so that's actually not like a crazy price. But I think these are one of those brands that were pushed by a lot of influencers and stuff like that. And just like, what exactly are these? Who are they? And a lot of the usual questions. But I think if you just want like a fun, kooky little thing, it's I don't know.
This it's so funny how like it's like so instead of making a mall watch big and gargantuan like Invicta, it's like we're gonna fucking make it techie, And it's just
Yeah.
like, what shape is that? Kudos for them for trying new things, but that shit looks like something out of Star Fox. Like, also, it should be a transponder. It should definitely be able to locate different things for me. What and O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, is pushing this bullshit. Like,
What's up, Ray Ray?
it's sad, bro. It's sad that like influencer culture has started to leak its way into luxury, or it's always been that way. But like, there's nothing about this watch. Like, the fact that they have a hang tag that looks like some fucking shit off of a shoe. Like, that's nothing. I don't know, man. I don't like these at all. There's no charm. It's dead. It's like it looks dead in the eyes.
Dead in the eyes.
Am I lying?
Nah, no, no.
It's like how some watches, like the Daniel Roths or the sympathies from Roger Dubuis, like they have these obscure shapes, but they look like a human tried to make this. This looks like somebody put a fucking design in ChatGPT and said, "Make me something that the kids will love."
Yeah.
It looks like an AI design fucking watch, is what I'm trying to say. Damn you, Sam Altman.
Yeah, I would wear one just to see what's going on, but I do think the way that they're being pushed and I think they started to climb up there in pricing, and that's where you lose me, right? Is when the pricing starts to get really wacky,
Is it
and then
Chinese?
I believe the movement might be a Chinese term. Don't quote me on that, but wait, let me just see something. There's nothing. I don't want to say if it's not, but there's nothing there that says Swiss made.
You shouldn't say. And the problem I'm having is like I don't want to be this person who's like, well, if it's not Swiss made or not German, but it's just like there's nothing about this that looks luxury to me. Like, and I'm trying to look at every single one that you pulled up, and they all just have different things that just take away from the luxury aspect. So $21,000 for this, and it looks like a pit bull in the middle of it. It doesn't even look like a skeleton. It looks like a fucking pit bull.
305.
Oh, it's Austrian. Oh, Australian.
Australian.
Ah,
Shout
so
out
it's
to
a
my Aussies
pirate
out there.
band. I mean, hey, I can get down with that. That explains the skull.
All right, let me show you what my good friend Yuri sent me yesterday. I
Donate to
think,
Salvation Army instead. Words of them all
yeah,
to
actually
take to the bank.
do that. So this is a Pharisee. It's basically a Jorn. How can I make the picture bigger?
No, that's kind of fire though. I'm not
That's
gonna
what I'm
lie.
saying. He sent me this, and he's like, he sent me it yesterday. I didn't check during the stream. And I'm sorry, whenever sometimes people send me messages during the stream, I check back a little bit later. So I always do reach back out. Anyways, so he sent me this when we talked about the Jordan on the stream yesterday, and he was like, "I'd rather this for $300 than waiting and all that stuff." And I was like, what is this? This actually looks pretty dope. And at 386, he said if you use like the coupons, you could get a little bit lower. They do it in brown. They do a Dubai edition.
I
I
like the
actually
white and blue. The white and blue is kind
like the white and blue. No, the one when he sent me the wrist shot, I was like, what is? I was like, oh, it's Jordan. And I was like, wait, no. Okay, just it looks it's thicker, of course. But the movement
yeah.
isn't half bad. But look at that.
Hey man.
So
Hey,
so now
it's in my price point.
So now here's the question: if I buy this, can I wear it to a watch meetup?
No,
But he had it like to dinner and he looked good.
but I think it's like you have an AP of Rolex, you have those things in your collections, right? But like I think that this is somewhat of a gag watch once you own a Journe or once you own a Patek, then you can kind of wear this and people know. But like I feel it's a hard thing to explain to other watch enthusiasts at a watch meetup, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just like, what are you promoting by wearing this shit, dude?
It's,
Like,
it's just it's just I feel like
full Paul Jordan, bro. Julius Caesar,
I'm getting
Chronometro
one.
Jet
I'm
Blue,
getting
dog.
one. I'm getting one.
I'm just saying, it's not the. It's like if I wore that shit around a bunch of people who didn't know, they'd probably give me compliments. Like this is one of those watches that if you wore in like a space where not a lot of people understand what a watch, they'd be like, oh my god, that is that a couple $1,000, not knowing that it's based off a $100,000 watch.
Oh man.
The
I,
movement isn't that bad too. It's got a little German
no.
silver.
It's fitting. No, he sent it to me, and at first I was like, "Oh, that's cool," and then I was like, "Damn, this is really 300
Yo.
bucks."
So
And then when I saw the other colors, I was like, "Oh no, I meant
hey,
a couple of
all I'm gonna
these."
say is Christopher Ward has 24 hours to explain themselves because I
Oh
can buy one
god.
of these for fucking $400 and it,
Oh man, shout out to Christopher Ward. They're opening a new showroom in the Virginia area. You guys should check out really good folks over there at that showroom. Here's a Maester Singer Aventurine dial. Yeah.
I mean,
Actually,
I love Aventurine.
I don't think these pictures are good. That Aventurine is a little bit dark. There we go. It's a little better.
What's Aventurine again? Is it like it's a rock?
It's a glass. I thought it was a rock, but it's a glass that they do some. It's like you melt it and you do some things. But technically, it's a glass.
People talk so much shit about lab grown diamonds, and we fucking make all sorts of weird ass glass metal. It's like all made up, dude. Jesus.
Yeah, the issue with the lab grown diamonds is usually when you how do I say this?
Yes, yes. Let's hear how the fence sitter.
So the problem with the diamond situation right now is that everything's falling, right? The problem with the lab diamond situation, everybody complains that the diamonds, the bears, there's too much conspiracy going on. The problem with the lab diamonds is there's zero control. And at least like, with earth diamonds,
I
diamonds
mean,
from the
yeah, as
dirt.
long as we can count how many liters of blood is spilled for us to get our diamonds, it's okay, is what I'm hearing.
Wait, wait.
I'm just saying, bro. Lab grown diamonds, they don't need to use child labor to fucking mine the diamonds. That's all
Well,
I'm saying, bro. I get that we want control, but it's like,
and listen, like it's not yeah, there's just something I wanna
I mean, I know we don't care about ethically sourcing. I have an iPhone and it uses I know. It's just
No, no,
funny
no.
because it's just lab grown diamonds. Yes, there's no control, but like we at least know that they're somewhat ethically sourced, I guess. I don't
See that's a problem. You really don't know. And I'm not here to defend the diamond industry at all.
You
But
think
like
they're
you really
testing
just
the
don't know.
fake diamonds on rabbits or something? What do you mean?
I mean, like when you see how fast the prices are going down, like wherever corners will be cut will be cut. But there are like a lot of people doing it in the U.S. as well. But with the diamond industry, with the lab grown side, just to get to my point, all these guys are just dumping inventory. There's nobody to control the disbursement of inventory. So that's why you're seeing a lot of dealers they're not buying back lab grown. They can't
But
because
it's just weird because De Beers could do the same thing. So if anything, we're like, all right, well, at least they're smart about how they're. It's all fake. What is it? Fake. What do they call it again? It's like they're making up the scarcity. So fake scarcity. Am I
yeah.
correct in saying that? And so lab grown, why would they? It's lab grown. Whereas De Beers, it's like they got to protect something. So I guess it's like the jewelers respect the fact that De Beers.
Well, they're keeping their market strong. It's just like why would you buy FP Join right now if you're a dealer? Because you know out there somewhere that the cabal of dealers have decided, hey,
But
we're
it's
gonna
one
keep this
cabal
brand
versus the
strong.
other. Like
Yeah,
it's
exactly. And that's what's happening. Is like the consumer. That's exactly what's happening. The consumer is caught between two cabals, and they don't realize that, one cabal is both cabals are making money,
yes,
right? But
yes.
there's one cabal that has a vested interest in your value staying a certain way. The other cabal doesn't care. Same thing with Paddock.
Is
Paddock
it?
has an interest.
I don't agree with the comparison to Paddock though, because I think that diamonds really care about their diamonds continuing to be worth what they're worth, so they can sell them.
I don't think so. Because in every sorry, I'm trying to get this picture up. It's taking
Because
forever.
from what you're saying, it almost sounds akin to the Rolex idea of, Rolex CPO. Look at how much these diamonds are worth once they're bought. Once they bought, they can still be resold for a similar amount. So this is why you should buy from us. And I get it. It's a good way of training the mentality of like buying value so that it increases in value. But it's like it's still not a real thing. It's not. It's still fake scarcity. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I think we lost you on the audio. Oh, wait, am I just with me?
But yeah, I'm just saying, long story short, Paddock is finite. There's a certain amount of watches they make, just like Jordan, just like Rolex. And I think it's unfair to compare that to De Beers because De Beers just chooses to release their diamonds. And I think it's more so because they also benefit from the market staying high. It's nothing to do with the consumer's value. They don't give a fuck about that.
Well, they need the consumer to not be super duper angry when they come back to buy again, they come back to trade again, and that's the thing. Like some cabals care about that. Other cabals they just want the money to keep going. I got Daniel Roth up. I was trying to pull up. You just sent me a really really good one. I don't know if I could show you here, but in the back end I can it's crashing some things right now.
Why is Hannibal laughing at Diamond Seed? Is that like not a good terminology or?
I think Hannibal is just immature.
No, no, no,
As
but
us, as
no, no, no.
us.
I don't know. No, no, no. I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with how. I know that diamonds are made through compressing coal or whatever, and that's me watering it down to its barest. But I don't know. Is there a diamond seed, just the coal that's compressed? Like what is a diamond seed? Not trying to be a
So
dick.
basically, they're just using a small piece of a diamond, and then
Uh-huh.
they put that with more carbon in, the pressure to simulate the heat and
Mm.
pressure to simulate all the things. And from that real diamond seed, a bigger diamond is grown around that diamond seed, and that is how they're making those.
Okay, now I get it. And Hannibal's like, no, Trap said they. I don't think he said they trapped. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think he said that they're planting. I think he's just saying that like they use the diamond seed like CQs.
Yeah,
It's funny though.
exactly.
Imagine if we could. It's like planting a money tree, but you just plant the diamond seed. I'd plant that all day, bro. Forget the medical marijuana plants I have in the back.
Durad says he tried on a Langansone Dufour graph today, which is the Datograph flyback rose gold and black dial. Just wanted to pull it up. I think it's one of
Oh wow,
the
that's
perfect
beautiful.
watches.
That is a beautiful watch.
So I agree with Durad. This is a great next stop. These always look so good.
Very nice. Is that an enamel dial or something, or no?
No, it's
It's
the
just
lacquer
very
dial.
nice, very nice black dial. Very, very nice.
Let's see what they're going for in the
Hannibal,
market.
if you know nothing, I know nothing less. You seem to know a bit.
Oh man, let me just what's the
The,
reference on
and
that?
one thing Longa knows how to do is make those movements look. I could look at the movement for days.
Oh yeah, it really is like you don't know movements unless you stared at some good long and Sony movements. Let's see, you got it for 141, 121, and these have been steadily climbing. There's certain long and Sony pieces that are really you know found their stride, and this
CQ,
being
Watch
the
Addict has a
Dufour
funny
graph.
question for you. He's like, I have an oddball question. I was in the Caribbean cruise recently and noticed that all ports had the shop called Diamond International. Watches there were so electric. Any information on them?
Yeah, I actually used to work for Diamonds International. So there's two big long term chains in the Caribbean. Diamonds International, Little Switzerland. I started my career in Little Switzerland, and I did 1 year in Alaska and a summer in they have a thing here in Disney out here for Diamonds International. But they are all over the Caribbean. They're in Florida, they're in Alaska, and they sell a lot of brands, a lot of jewelry, a lot of diamonds, of course. He says also Bremont has no shame in it. It seems they were pushing their brand alongside cringe quartz brands via cruise shopping director. Why do these brands do this? So this is a great question, Watch Addict, and it's so funny because I was having a big discussion about the cruise market with doing some consulting for some brands yesterday. So the cruise market is a very different market than your traditional market. And some companies have done really, really strong. For instance, Bremont is a brand that traditionally has done really, really well in their cruise ship markets to the point where selling on the cruise ship and ports were doing more than mainland ADs. The reason why is you have a contained audience of people. The shopping director, the cruise directors, as you know, they have all these great shopping classes. They're giving you all these great coupons. Those are all paid for by Diamonds International. All those booklets with the maps that have all the goodies, every store in there pays to be posted there. So from the time you get on a cruise ship, you're targeted, right? If you're one of those people who are susceptible to that type of targeted, you're targeted and you're just it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop the hey, you should buy here, you should buy this. You can get a lot of good deals there, but if you're somebody who doesn't know what you're looking for and you got to spare 5,000, you meet a guy like CQ, you leave with a Bremont. That's pretty much what happens there. And Diamonds International is a chain that's been around for quite a long time. They specialize in diamonds, but they used to carry back in the day AP, the first Ubla boutique was in St. Thomas in partnership with them. Everything, a little bit of everything. It's like what they didn't have, we had, and we had Paddock, Parmigiani, Chopard, Tag Heuer, Breitling, Omega, Longines, pretty much a little bit of everything, and then somebody else on the sheet had Long and Sony and stuff. But yeah, the cruises are engineered to sell you something. They don't make money from you just buying a cruise. They make money from the drink package and partnership sales like this, where they're helping selling watches. If you're buying a watch from somebody in a cruise store, that store is either owned by the cruise or it's owned by a company that specializes, like Starboard, that specializes in cruise sales, and they buy from the brands and they sell it in that market. Can be a great place to get some good deals, especially right now with everything that's going on. But also, you see certain brands like Bremont, they don't care. They'll be right there next to the toy watches, the Michels, the Michael Kors, because that's where the eyeballs are.
Good afternoon, Abdul Watches. Thank you for stopping by. And Ben 10, thank you for
Hey, Ben
stopping
10.
by. Um, I see. Thank you for the information, CQ. So it's safe to say the average cruise goes basically, um, average cruise goers basically have shiny object syndrome and has little to no idea of the real hierarchy of watch brands. I think that a lot
Correct.
of people go on cruise ships not expecting to buy much, and cruise ships are literally like going to an amusement park where it's just nothing but things being thrown at you to buy, and they meet someone like CQ who has every intention of bringing them into the watch world, and unfortunately sometimes they buy their first watch on this cruise and they kind of get taken advantage of, and then they become the savvy watch enthusiasts because they're like, shit, I got hosed by going on this cruise and finding the cougar winker that is CQ the watch guy. For all watch advice, please go over to CQ Gottlieb and Co. And like and subscribe, upvote. Make sure that you're supporting the brand.
Yeah, you're very accurate in your statement. I'm gonna pull up that beautiful Satori Biard that Ben 10 is watching. Durachas, have you tried on the Dado? Yes, I've had this on the wrist before. In 1916, we had quite a few of these in, and I think I bought one or two in Dubai. I think I had a client who I think I did one deal in the mall, and I feel like it was that deal that I did in Mill&Net in the mall was for that watch. Very. If I wasn't in Dubai, I wouldn't have done that deal. But I love these watches. I enjoy bigger watches though, folks. So something like this that gives you everything you can ever want in terms of the look, the aesthetic, the complication. You flip it over, and we got like the party that is that movement. Whew. I really yeah. I don't need much more. Let's pull up this really nice Satori Biard. And Mr. Armin Biard just had a birthday. So happy birthday to you, Armin. He just turned 50. That gentleman there. If you don't know Sartori Biard, to me right now, pound for pound, they're the best bespoke watches you can buy. Meaning you can get really cool watches like this limited edition. This is the SB04-E crystal color platinum, right? That has a beautiful stone dial, and the stone. Look at this amazing dial. It looks like the ocean. It looks like the ocean, like some, like by us, man, like some mangroves or something where there's a little bit of reef, and you look in like from above. This is exactly what it looks like, and I love the look of this watch when it came out. So
Is
congrats
this
to
the
you, Ben
brand that
10.
you covered that one time?
Yes, I had two SB04Es with just the tantalum dials. So I had them in for a little bit. I'm actually going to see Armand next weekend. There's a little event out there he's doing with Jean Rousseau. So I'll be out there, and I do have a plan to do some. I think personally, my next couple watches are probably going to be Sartori BRs. I'm very into doing bespoke pieces right now. And you could get a bespoke watch under $6,000 with them, which I think is amazing. Really good movements, really good watches, really good aesthetics, and you can pretty much do anything you want. Once it's within the case, you could do whatever you want with these watches. So I really love them. And Armand's a good guy. He's been doing this for a little while, but this probably is one of the best watches he's done. That stone dial is amazing. Let me just go to his. But the reason why I always talk about him when I talk to people who don't, they want to get something fun. They don't want to spend something too crazy. Nobody's letting you make custom watches for this price point. Look at that, beautiful.
It's-
A little bit of everything. You want engraved dials, you want mother of pearl, you want meteorite, you want Roman numerals, you want, and now he has a turb. He has an integrated bracelet, the SB07. So yeah, a really interesting brand, and definitely one I think people should check out, especially if you're interested in doing something bespoke. If you want to gift something to somebody and you want it to be really true to you, but you don't want to spend 100,000 getting something made bespoke, check them out. Literally, like when you sit down with them, just pulls out drawers and drawers of dials and stones, and you can go crazy. Really, awesome stuff. Thank you, Ben 10. That was a great watch for us to break up. All right, we got a few more minutes before we head out. Vimal says, "How do you how do you decide pound for pound on secondary they flop like LeBron?" So when I say pound for pound, in terms of what other brand is gonna let you make a bespoke piece and make a bespoke piece for that price point. So that's what I'm saying, pound for pound. In my opinion, this isn't a watch you buy to sell, unless you buy one like what Ben 10 has, something that they made a commercial production of. To me, you do the bespoke thing, and that's your watch. I have like a painted dial, whatever watch. I'm not trying to sell that. So in my opinion, that's what happens with these is like that's your watch. You know, there's some watches that you keep, you give to your children, you give to people that you want to get into a watch space, and that's what Satori BR is. It's not going to be a brand that's going to have a big secondary market, and nobody's going to really help them in that in that realm as well, and they don't have the money to do it, and I don't expect them to do it. And again, at that price point, if they're charging 15, 20,000, then I kind of ask questions. But if they're under that price point, why not? And some of these aren't even doing too crazy compared to what they retail for. Like, man, I paid this for $4,000 all day. I don't know. One of my favorite brands again, but I like the fact that you could make something that's yours and not spend too much crazy. Let's get to the chat before we head out of here. Abdul R Watches says he makes an awesome watch. Excellent. Oh, where'd it go? Too many chats. You guys are so active. Love it. He makes an awesome watch. Excellent indie. He's also a very cool guy. Super awesome guy. One of the indies that I'm very easy for me to support. Federico from Devil Watches, the Miami legend, also loves SP. Federico's a good guy. Facts, SB's fire. Summer watches are even 3,000. Says Ben 10. Check Larique if you like bespoke. Unfortunately, Larique is on waiting list for the next 2 series already. I'll pull that up for you, Abdul R Watches. That's gonna be our last of the day. And thank you guys so much for tuning in on a Friday. You guys really are the best. Ben 10 says true artistry. Tan says your watch looks amazing. What else we got here? Ghost of Yiddish says Satori BR, Garrett Kudoko for bespoke watchmaking. Also, can I get your opinion on the Cartier CPCP high watchmaking Tortoise Skeleton perpetual calendar with the reference number? I'll pull that up. That'll be the last watch after the other one. And he's right, Kudoko, I forgot you can get bespoke from them. Garrick is a brand. I don't know why I don't like. I feel like I was hearing about Garrick a lot. And you remember who had Garrick, brother? Josh and Jason over at a Watchbox had Garrick watches. You remember? And they were hot on Garrick for a while. So I wonder what's going on there. And see, not too many watches, but they do also offer bespoke watches, and they do guilloche. They have a really nice case design. Their watches are maybe a little more expensive than the Satori pieces, but I've also seen some. Man, I saw a Dubai edition go for auction for like $6,000. I should have bought it. I should have bought it from the guy before auction, but I was being cheap. CQ loses every time. Cheap CQ also didn't buy the Snoopy at dealer cost, and Cheap CQ cries every night. I make Cheap CQ look at. Let's make Cheap CQ do it right now. One more. Let's torture Cheap CQ on a Friday. I want to remember all of you folks out there. If your heart beats for something, if you truly want it, just get it. I could have had this watch for under $7,000. That's all I'll say. I'm gonna move on before I cry. So let's look at the Lyric watches. Lyric. Oh wow, these look interesting. All right, Abdul, tell us more. Tell us more about these. An international group of watch patrons banded together to create Lyric Corp, the Lyric Group. We work directly with top watchmakers and designers to create watches reflecting the finest tradition of Swiss watchmaking. We support the development of new and creative watches, movements, and techniques, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what we got. How much are these watches, Abdul? These look interesting. All right, 29,000 Swiss franc. All right, so you lost Jay right there. Well, wait, Jay, wait. Let's not make manual one. AG-ish. I think they're using Agenor movements. Yeah, so Agenor movement. So that's a high quality movement that other expensive watches have. All right, so that's not bad. You get a bespoke watch under 30,000 with a much higher end movement than on other pieces, and I'm guessing they're very very well finished. A little bit more pricey than I'd like to see, but I'm gonna look more into these because I've never seen them before and actually look. I don't know why, but I enjoy the style design. This pinch thing here, I don't, but everything else
It's
is
not
kind of interesting.
terrible. It's just I'm not a big fan of the font that they're using on the dial. It just doesn't seem luxury. It seems a little bit too archaic. But beyond that, it looks like a nice Laurent Ferrier type of thing going on. Definitely gives me some like Lauren Ferrier vibes. Not bad though. And as you said, like you're able to sorry, Abdullah Watches says that each series is 100 pieces. So basically a group of collectors get together and we're able to make a bespoke watch. Wait, is he still talking about the same brand? He said Agenor. Is that a different brand?
No, Agenor is the movement.
Okay. But yeah, I mean like if you can get together and like make a bespoke watch for under 30,000, that's not bad. You know?
Yeah, that's not bad at all, especially for a high end watch. So Moser uses Agenor in their Streamliner chronograph. Singer Redesign uses Agenor as well in some of their pieces. So they're really good movements, and the price point of watches with those movements in there are 30, 40, $50,000 as well. So interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, let's go to the watch that Yiddish is thinking about. I love Yiddish so much. He is of my we have the same ilk in terms of how our brain and watches think. A lot of you guys, a lot of
Ben
us are on
10,
the
I
same.
can't bet against the Mexican firecracker, just being honest with you.
What is it? Is it Canelo versus?
Canelo versus Crawford on Netflix, I think. That was what we had saw. And the Mexican firecracker is just, I'm
It's
all about
hard.
the money on Crawford, but that would be like betting against the Redskins when I mean the Commanders when they've lost every game against Green Bay and look what happened last night. I think I'm going with the firecracker, personally.
What's the spread? Is a real question.
Well, I don't know how that works with boxing because it's probably like somebody goes down in a specific round or like
Well,
you know what
you
I'm
see.
saying? It's probably like a certain amount of money for a knockout. But I wouldn't. I mean, Canelo got hands, bro. Crawford all day. Interesting. I don't know enough about boxing.
So
I'm more of a team sport person.
it's Canelo 180 according to ESPN bet.
Yeah, and I mean like that means that Crawford is not that bad. It seems like they're evenly matched. I'm a little bit with Abdul Watches. I enjoy a little bit more MMA, but I do respect boxing and like the rules that are set for it and the kind of how do you say it like the old schoolness of it like we scrap up you got to keep it above the belt and I definitely respect boxers. I got to do my research on Crawford. Man, I mean, you're making me thinking about putting some money on this.
I know, right? He just
Ben, Ben 10, can I cite you? Can I get a $10 refund on my $10
listen.
bet? Can I get
Monday,
a
I just know Ben 10 Monday. I won't be here, so Jay might just go live and just do a Ben 10 hate stream. Ben 10 made me lose all my money.
Ben 10 said Crawford was like putting money in FP Jorn in 2017.
Exactly. All right, so we have a beautiful Cartier Roadster. Where is it? Cartier Roadster CPCP high watchmaking Tortue. It's a Tortue skeleton. It's not a Roadster. Excuse me. Tortue skeleton perpetual counter. If you don't know the CPCP, I think it's like Cartier Privé or Cartier Privé
That sounds like
something.
some kind of it sounds like a
I know, I
secret
know.
government agency.
So basically, it's Cartier did like
It's
a
a
high end
torture, not a
department.
roadster, is what he was saying. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah,
Yiddish kid.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I went too hard. I went too hard. It looks roadsterish, but it is a
It does.
torture.
It does look roadsterish.
But CPCP had a lot of great watchmakers in there. F.E. Journe was there for a little bit. I think Andreas Scholler might have been there for some second, and I think Denny Fagile was over there for a little bit. I know the mono pusher that everybody loves is has all of their fingerprints on it. I personally, Yiddish, I love these watches, and when you see some of these like cool, funky CPCP pieces, like at the values that there are, 46.8. This is gonna be a white gold perpetual calendar skeleton. This is just it's a little bit bigger than most people can deal with, but it's just a watch a lot of people don't understand the value that you're getting in a piece like this. A unique look, unique complication, just done by legendary watchmakers as well. Has a perpetual calendar fan. I love this. I love that like the date goes around the perimeter of the dial and it fits the case every well. To me, this is a win. You gotta love skeleton watches, but I think for skeleton watches, a very legible skeleton. They did a great job in just doing the center section here skeletonized and not doing a full skeleton, so you can't see all the way through. You could just see exposed parts of the movement, which leave really good elements of visibility on this watch. I like the watch.
It's very nice, beautiful watch. I love Cartier. It's just like Ben 10 said, very hard to read. And Abdul said, but I love this watch.
Let's just see what happens when you put Cartier CPCP. All right, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're just going to take a quick browse on what other Cartier CPCP pieces. And there's a lot of different ones. This is the most famous one, the Mono Pusher. But yeah, I wanted to see if you'd find any, like, they did some really crazy stuff that they didn't talk about too much. Like, this is going to be like just a day-night indicator. You know what I mean? With a beautiful, I've seen one of these in person before. So there are a lot of fun watches out there that they made that they didn't make ton of and they didn't talk too much about, that you could pick up at reasonable values compared to original retails and what, you'd pay for other brands as well. Even the mono pushers have come down a little bit, but I think, and here's a traditional perpetual from the CPCP line as well. Just really fun watches and not things that you see every day. Really, really cool. All right, I'm going to take a peek at the Tank Chinois skeleton from 2022, and then we will wrap it up. Do me a favor, guys. Give me an upvote. I want to shout out to, who is that? Hannibal, who became the 301?
Mm. Yes.
Yes, I think it was Hannibal. So shout out to Hannibal for getting me over to 301. We got to beat Jay. Jay's trying to get us. And then we will finish off with a Tank Chinois. Cartier has been, in my opinion, on a great roll of really, really nice releases in the past years as well. There we go. These are cool.
Hmm.
Not for everybody, but I think these are cool. And Cartier just, they keep releasing interesting things, man, that hit the nail on so many different heads. Not for everybody, but really dope in-house movement. Looks better than the RM Square movement that came out. All right, I want to shout out everybody in the chat. This has been an amazing Friday. Gotta get out here. I gotta start packing. I haven't started packing yet. Limited live streams next week. There may not be any live streams, but I will get some recorded content up for you guys. I'll be over in Switzerland, going to visit some watchmakers. So as much as they'll let me take videos and photos, I'm going to post it up here and let you guys see what kind of trouble I'm getting up to. I want to thank you guys so much for the support. You guys have been truly, truly amazing. When we get back, we're going to do a watch hand episode. Shout out producer Ramal for that. Suggestion. Remember, if you need independent watch advice, hit cqthewatchguy.com. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Enjoy yourself, relax, watch some football, watch the fight if you like the fight. If you don't like fights, if you don't like football, watch some cricket, watch something, entertain yourself. Go watch a movie, but no matter what, I hope you have an amazing time doing whatever you want to do. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Jay, the retired watch guy, give the people some wisdom to start their weekend out the right way.
I mean, I don't see what's wrong with lab grown, man. You know, get yourself a lab grown diamond if you need it.
Hey,
Just
ain't
saying.
nothing wrong with lab grown. Just
And
don't,
yes,
you
Watch
know.
Alex said Steelers over Seahawks. Let's fucking go.
Hey, hey, go Eagles, man. Go Birds. All right, shout out Watch Addict, the ghost of Yiddish Gambino, Abdul R. Watches, to Raj S. all the way from Singapore, Ben 10. There we go. Sorry, I'm doubling up. You guys have been so active. Brian the Pipe, shout out to my favorite guy, Brian the Pipe, who says, no. CQ, cheap CQ makes cheap Brian cry when anyone says Jordan. Yes.
Yo.
Oh, love you so much, Brian. You guys are the best. Who else is in there? Shout out to Hannibal. Shout out to producer Ramal, the best producer in all of Watches. Shout out to Chop Vision 3D. You're always in here. Love you so much, brother. Who else? Oh, man. And shout out to Ray Ray. Good to see you in here. Shout out to everyone who came in. And the first of the day was Rich Buddy. So special shout out to you. Again, hope everyone has an amazing weekend. Buy your watches before the price increase goes up. Kiss your loved ones. And I'll see you soon.
Go Raiders too. I like Aston Jetty. Peace out.